Hey, so I decided that this would be easy to explain in a quick video than writing a long blog post. Last week, I put a photo of this on my blog and said there were a few rookie mistakes on it. So if you didn't spot them there, you'll see that it's sort of warped up here. It's become thinner there and at the edges there. What's happening is you've got a layer of hot plastic being put on top of a layer of cold plastic, and as it cools it starts to contract and it pulls and it bends up. So eventually it pulls off the build plate. So first thing I did was go on the internet, have a look around, various suggestions from Kapton tape to build tack, the stuff that I actually bought but haven't actually used yet, to glue stick. What I've found worked for me, at least for both PLA and PET, which are the two plastics I've tried, is simply to raise the bed temperature about 10 degrees above what the manufacturer recommended. So for me it was 70 degrees. You'd have to experiment with your printer. And that ensured that it stuck down properly and didn't warp up like this. I've actually got, I think with this gear you can see even worse. This one almost came off the build plate completely, which would have been a catastrophic failure, like complete print failure. And just raising the temperature a little has pretty much solved this problem, except for very large objects, like the size of the build plate almost. I found for those I need to put a little brim around the outside edge just to keep it sticking there. Because that brings us to the next thing, which is you want it to stick during printing, but afterwards you want to remove it. And again, some people say you need this special spatula that's sharp and can go underneath but doesn't scratch the build plate. What I've found is if you're a little patient and you just wait for the build plate to cool down to, I don't know, below 30 degrees seems to work for me, then it just pulls off the build plate. This one's still a little bit too warm, so I'll pull it forward slowly, and then you can just lift it off. It just comes off. And then now if you compare that to the original print, and this one's nice and flat and this one's got the warped edges. So there you go, those are the two tips I have. Raise the heated bed temperature to help it stick down, put a brim around it if you need to, and if you can just be patient and let the build plate cool down, then it'll come off easily.